Hello, hi. My team is here. On behalf of Jordan and Ghetto Bob, we got Sam and Tim. Yet again for another huddle for our team. And I'm expecting just expedited, optimal communication and efficiency for this one. We'll start with what did y'all work on this past week? And it looks like we're leading off with Tim. The slide says Tim is busy because of school.
Yeah, there's like a lot of nasty assignments coming up, so a lot going on.
Did you do any of like the tackle probability stuff?
I don't think I had the time to do any of that.
Well, that's fine. You know, definitely finish your coursework. Why do you attend a haunted school?
Yeah, there was like some shady thing with a computer science student like a few years ago, and he's like still haunting the school. I'm trying to keep up with my coursework so he doesn't get up to me.
This is our Halloween themed huddle, I see.
Do you have to write all your code by hand? Is that why there's no computers in this school? 'Cause that would be pretty
That's
wicked.
that's absolutely
On
right.
loose
I
leaf
have
paper?
I have never done an assignment with like handed in online. You all have to bring them to like there's like these post boxes where you have to bring them every Monday morning.
Yeah, that's the vibe. So, okay, well, thank you for the update, Tim. We'll come back to you in a bit. We do have updates here from Sam. Sam, do you want to walk us through some of the stuff you've been doing this week?
All right, we got some actual serious work going on here. So just wanted to share everybody a little update with our tackle probability modeling. So we got a kind of what I'll call a baseline model built. We went through and finished doing our feature engineering, added some features that we didn't share last week. I'll just call a few out really quickly. One of which was potential blockers for the defender. So, looking at any offensive player between the ball carrier and defender that is also within plus or minus 10 yards, kind of widthwise on the field. So, somebody who would be nearby who could potentially block our defender from getting to the ball carrier. A few other features. Ended up with a pretty solid feature set and built our baseline tackle probability model. This probably isn't our last version or iteration of it. There'll definitely be some fine tuning and tweaking with the team, but I would say it gives us a good starting point. So what we're seeing with this model is among players who end up recording a tackle, the mean probability is about 54% across all of their frames, and it's only about 5% for those who don't record a tackle. Good discrimination there. When we separate this out between the first event in the play and the last event in the play, we see a tackle probability increase for the player that makes a tackle. So it goes from 48% as a mean at the start up to 66%. Whereas if you're not making a tackle, it's fairly low. Makes sense because if you're pretty far away from the play, you're going to pretty much have a consistently low tackle probability. So probably not the best we can do yet, but it shows signs of what we would expect from an intuition standpoint. It's in the right direction. We're in the ballpark here. So looking a little bit further at our probabilities, if we look on the next slide, what I wanted to do was break the probabilities out by certain events within the play. One thing that I should have checked before modeling, so definitely do this if you are looking at the data yourself, is apparently out of bounds is an event that gets associated with the tackle. So I'm guessing if a defender knocks a guy out of bounds, pushes a guy out of bounds, the tackle data set records that as a tackle for a player. So once again, for the players that make the tackle versus those that don't, we see very strong discrimination in our mean probabilities. We also see a number of events there. I cut out any event that was like n lower than 50. So there are a few events not shown here. Another thing to note is if you're looking or playing with this data, sometimes a play doesn't have a tackle. So any touchdown, not going to have a tackle. The next thing I looked at was the distribution of tackle probabilities for the tackler between the start event and the end event. And I screwed up the ordering here. So I use red for the end event blue for the start event. What I thought was interesting was got a relatively uniform distribution of potential tackle probabilities for the first event for the tackler. Don't know how much sense that makes, but we'll see that there are cases where for the start event, it makes sense for that start probability to be really high. And then obviously towards the end event, that funnels towards a fairly high probability of tackle. You can see that distribution get quite wide between 85% and 100% towards the end there. There's also some that have a very low probability. And what I'm finding is there are some plays where a player records a tackle and the distance is greater than 10 yards away. There's not a lot of cases like that, but definitely need to look into that further because that obviously can't happen. Doesn't make a lot of sense. So need to figure out why we have players making tackles 10 yards away from the ball carrier. But I said that I would explain why a start event could have a really high probability of a tackle. The next slide will look at an animation of one of our plays. So here's a very basic animation. I've stripped out the offensive players that aren't the ball carrier. We'll spruce this up later. And then the size of the dot is the tackle probability. So you'll notice some floating numbers there that have incredibly small dots. Those are guys that are not going to make a tackle on this play. But this is a play where Mark Andrews caught the ball about half a second into the play. And Keanu Neal immediately recorded a tackle. He was right on top of him. So his tackle probability when Mark Andrews caught the ball was 90%. It went up to like 95% by the end of the play. One of the advantages of just looking at some of your plays like this is it helps you make sense of those seemingly anomalous results. This makes sense in the context of Keanu Neal was probably right on top of Mark Andrews when the ball arrived and was able to make that tackle instantaneously. We can also see that the three other closest defenders also had a fairly high probability of tackle compared to the other 7 on the field. So it just acts as a bit of a gut check. So it's good to see some results from our model. I think we'll start playing around with verifying quality, the accuracy, the edge cases. Later, I'll talk about kind of our next steps, but definitely making some progress, getting that tackle probability model solidified. And then we can start thinking about, well, what do we want to do with these probabilities? What do we want to learn about tackling from this model and other potential models?
This is solid. Again, like I challenged the team to put together some tackle probability stuff, and yeah, this is nice. It's a good baseline, especially when we're only really 3 weeks in. So very cool. So I saw I don't. There's no description here about what this is, but I can only guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you should have been doing Saturday. I could have gotten through a lot more of that tackle probability stuff if I had a helping hand in the yard. Instead, I spent 6 hours out back building a 5-foot pile of leaves that my daughter and dog jumped into and immediately destroyed 20 minutes later.
Incredible.
So, I wasn't kidding about that yak work. If we're talking about blockers, and that blocker is going to be back this week. We had some bad weather. We had some rain. Rest of the leaves are coming down. So it's an open invite. Like I said, I got 2 rakes at this house. Come over and just bag if you want. That pile of leaves is what stands between me and true Big Data Bowl glory. Tim tried to get us to put our data in something called a secure scuttlebutt. I don't know what that means. It sounds like some type of database of unforgeable append-only feeds. He was saying it was like really important for us to figure out how to do this for the project, but I couldn't see what was I couldn't make heads or tails of it. It sounded like some NFT scheme to me.
That will be important, like if anything ever happens to our internet or something. So it's like for security reasons only.
All right. Well, what are we working on this week? We'll hand it off to Sam here for what we're working on this week.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to continue to work on that tackle probability model. Like I said, at really a baseline with the probabilities, but I think we could probably look at employing different methods. Just use kind of XGBoost with kind of your standard grid search process. That may not be the best method for our model. In addition, there's probably some outlier plays. I didn't really do a lot of due diligence there. I don't think the team did a lot of due diligence on some of that wonky stuff that we're now seeing as we look at some of the results. So it might be worthy to consider certain plays we want to trim. So spend some time thinking about that. Visualizations need a lot of work, so want to spend some time beefing up our play animation visualization. And then there's another, I think, core model that will be really useful for valuing the impact of a tackle on a given play, and that is a ball carrier expected yards after catch or expected yards after carry model. So at a particular frame, how many additional yards do we think the ball carrier will pick up? And if a tackle significantly impacts that or reduces that, if you can save, say, 20 yards, that might be one great way to quantify the impact of our tackles. I think those will be our focus for the upcoming week. Just spend November kind of grinding out these base models.
Oh, I did see this. Just a cryptic message from Ghetto Bob.
Yeah, he told me he's working on something big, like we're talking like Data Lab 351 stuff. So I'm really excited about that.
So that's next week, is what this is saying. That's like
He's getting ready for that, yeah.
Oh, you know what? It's not going to be next. I guess he has 2 weeks to do it, because next week there's no stand-up because I'll be in Phoenix. But so in 2 weeks from now, I guess we'll just expect like even more. That's crazy though. I'm pumped. He's worked miracles in 2 hours. We'll see what he does in 4 weeks worth of time. All right. Blockers this week. I think this is what Sam was just talking about. Git broadcast and secure scuttlebutt. I guess Tim, this is from you?
Yeah, I think we have to like build like a secure scuttlebutt network. I heard like a lot of great things about it, that we can use it to have like a good second layer to our work, that we don't like lose it if like anything ever happens to like the power. We're sending here messages all around the world, so we need to have like some layer of security that things don't get lost.
Okay. And so this is supposed to be for like us sending messages to each other?
Sending messages, sending code, everything that's like related to our team needs to be like another layer of security.
Like how important is it? Like, is it super important?
Yeah, we have to finish it on Sunday. It's like really important that we finish it on Sunday.
It's due Sunday. Okay. Oh, this is one of the blockers that came up for me, and I'm glad you two are just here. And I know Ghetto Bob's in the room, and I know Data Dude will see this after. But clocking in from last week, so I told everyone like, Lawn Pup is the way to log in. All you gotta do is go to login, then you click organization, then you click next, then you put in your password, and then make sure you do your user ID and then your PIN number, and then that logs you in. So I wanted to just share this screenshot over the last week. No one is logging in. So the one person who did log in never logged out. Why? Why? What's going on?
Getabob is in the lab 24/7. That's where his name comes from.
I think I misremembered Lawn Pup. I thought it was Lin Pup, which stood for Let's Ignore Nick, Put Up Feet. Feet being PHEET. So I've just been every time doing a little ritual of ignoring the login page, putting my feet up on the desk. I was close though. I was one letter off. Lin Pop, Lon Pop.
For those who do log in, can you also please log out? Like, clock in, clock out. This is rough because, like, I don't know who worked what hours. I don't even know what hours Ghetto Bob worked. Like, until we solve this, y'all, like, I can't really pay y'all.
What? It was
But,
just
like-
Halloween. What are you talking about? Look, I moved to a new neighborhood and we needed to impress the neighbors. So my wife got full-size candy bars for all the kids. I spent $1,400 on candy today. I need that money. I'm counting on that money.
Why did you spend $1,400 on candy?
Because we had to impress the neighborhood. We had to make a good impression.
I wasn't even.
What makes a better impression than getting full-size candy bars for all the kids? I'm talking the premium, top of the shelf, full-size candy bars. Yeah, some kids may take 2. It's a kid-friendly neighborhood. We had like 400 kids pass by. Some kids pass by twice. You know, that little extra keep some candy to yourself type situation.
Tim, why aren't you clocking it?
I got lost on the way there. Like, I think I like clicked something wrong, and then I like got logged out forever, and then the page keeps reloading. And if I do F5, it just doesn't do anything. It just like keeps showing the same picture and picture again. So I think I got lost somewhere.
But like, why didn't you just like tell me? Like,
Yeah, I think we got scared because Sam told me about all the candy he bought, and we're like, we cannot tell Nick about this, otherwise he won't pay for the candy. So
if you guys want your money, you guys gotta clock in, you know?
yeah, I think Sam, we have to talk off stream. I think we have to talk about the union. So I think we cannot continue like that.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, that's fair. That's the European stuff I would expect. My colleague Tim, but
What union? What union?
I mean, NFLPA. What would the equivalent of this be?
And the
The NFLAPA,
Union.
the NFL Analytics
Players?
Personnel Players Association.
Okay.
How about you take Ghetto Bob's hours, divide them by 4. We all get, the 40 hours base, and then there's basically 5.1 hours that are overtime for each of us. So that's, pay and a half. I think that should cover my candy bill.
I will say that, like, there's money to be given here, and I don't think anyone's really received any, you know?
Oh, sorry. I think I lost you for a second, but I'm back.
Oh, okay.
Ever since the presentation last week, like I told Nick before, 3 high divis a day, it's going to make your doctor go away. I've been drinking my 3 high divis daily. Now, what I can tell you is there's a bit, just like any good thing, there's a bit of a learning curve. Well, there's a bit of your body getting adjusted to this medicinal product. I've been so used to the American diet that I think there's a bit of a cleansing going on. My wife says I'm sweating constantly. I smell like garlic. To be honest, I haven't been as productive as I thought I would be, but promise the benefits of this are going to kick in. It's going to hyper boost our project. We're going to 10x it in the upcoming weeks as my body gets acclimated to the high divi. I'm telling the rest of the team, you got to get on this bandwagon now. So by the end of the project, we're in peak physical shape. But like, I will say there's some adjustment for your gut microbe or gut biome. I think it's what it's called. Your gut biome's kind of got to adjust to something that's so energetic and natural and organic.
What?
As hot goat's milk.
Okay, well, like 3 a day, don't you think like that's an interesting quantity you're taking?
Well, I've got one of those styrofoam big gulp cups. So what, 64 ounces. We're looking at, something in the range of 190 ounces of hot goat's milk a day. I think that's a good start, right? I mean, yeah, could I be doing more? Certainly. But I'm sweating, I'm not sleeping well. I gotta get acclimated to the natural benefits of high divide before I jump into 300, 400 ounces a day, which is really probably what is optimal, right?
I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it for now.
I mean, all I'll say is I'm feeling organs inside my body that I've never felt before. Like, I can physically feel them now. I know where my pancreas is. I think my appendix is growing by the day.
Okay. I didn't have a slide for this because I think we were rushing to put this in, but do you have any other blockers specific, Sam?
I've mentioned this before, but and maybe this will be a request that the union makes. But as a young father, childcare is very important to me. I am up with these kids all hours of the night, not getting sleep. They're just frankly a lot of work. So what I was thinking is if yard work isn't your speed, maybe a little childcare over the weekend. Maybe we could get some babysitting action from Nick. But I'm not going to leave my kids with just anyone. So
Okay.
I have to ask you a few questions before I leave them in your stead. Question number one.
Oh, like right now.
The toddler is looking for a snack. She just screams in your face, "I want the blue one." What do you do?
I don't know. Look for the blue snack?
There's no blue snacks in the pantry.
Grapes? I don't know.
Wrong. You drive to Kroger's, you buy Nutri-Grain bars. Clearly the blue ones, Nutri-Grain bars come in blue wrappers. Those are the blue ones. You got to go get those, pick those up. That's what's going to solve that situation. All right, question number 2. What's the appropriate way to deal with diaper rash?
Do you go with like the baby powder?
Baby powder gives kids cancer. That's a terrible answer. I'm pretty sure that's true. Baby powder has been off limits for a while. No, you've got a special topical cream and Vaseline, both of which you need to apply. The topical cream, you use a finger, gently apply that, and then for the Vaseline, you need this little scoop paddle thing, looks like a spoon or spatula type thing that you just do a nice lather on and then put the diaper back on.
Okay.
All right. Third and final question. This is a math one. So as an analytics person, I would expect a stronger answer here.
Okay.
Last Friday on our meeting, I was both trying to talk and change a diaper. Said diaper was the result of my child having diarrhea that went up his back so far that it went out his shirt sleeves. What position was he in to make that possible? And what force needed to be created to make that happen? This is not a joke. This is actually what happened. It went up his back and out the sleeves of his shirt. There's an angle he needed to be at, right? Gravity had to work with him somehow. Yeah, was he pressed up against something?
Hanging upside down, just regular velocity. How am I even saying this as an... all right, we're going next. Thank you, Sam. Next.
All right. I guess childcare is going to continue to be a blocker.
I got this image from apparently everyone that says too much work intern, and it looks like you four plus a fifth person on a... I'm guessing this is who the intern would be? And
yeah.
What would an intern do?
Like everything we don't want to do, like clocking in our hours and high computing stuff. So I think we need a database that we can use. Like he can go crazy on all his AWS stuff, but someone needs to set it up because it's not going to be me.
Yeah, and I don't like to format my code. I just want to write like Kepler chains that have like 50 statements. So he's got to go back through all my code and just format it so like people can read it. I definitely need somebody to do that. Clearly, I need somebody to be checking for outliers. So he would have to go through he or she would have to go through every play and watch it and decide whether it's an outlier or not and flag it. We also need an intern for film review, yak work. I don't know, maybe they could answer these childcare questions better. There's lots for an intern to do.
Yeah, I think Jordan also said like someone needs to do some maintenance on his bike. So I think we have a lot to do for someone who would love to be an intern.
Apparently, you guys set up a what is this? Exclamation intern. Oh no. This is an application. What is this? Do you know how to code? Do you know football? Do you know how to operate a leaf blower? Do you know how to change a diaper? And then there's something that just says option 1. Okay.
That one's the most important one.
All right. Exclamation intern if you are interested in being their intern, apparently. Which sounds a lot like the things that y'all should be doing anyway, like clocking in, coding in a way that everyone can read, database stuff. This one's from you, Sam. Yard work continued, it seems.
Yeah, in addition to the leaves, I got these 2 ponds to fill in. Given the option, Nick, if you want to take the leaves, I'll take filling in the ponds. The leaf work will be nothing compared to that. So, I mean, really, it's just a nice day's exercise on a Saturday afternoon.
Okay. Thank you, Sam. This one, I didn't understand what this was. Jordan keeps saying, I beat Sam.
Yeah, he was flaming Sam all week in the team chat, and I was like, what is going on, Jordan? And I think he really he rewatched some of season 1 of Slice, and he just really got into it again, and he thinks we're doing Slice now, so I don't know,
Jordan thinks this is Sliced. Did anyone tell him that he's not competing against us? It's 4 people on a team to do one Kaggle competition, not a Kaggle competition where I've selected 4 people against each other. Has anyone told him that?
Yeah, when I tried to tell him, he's just kind of given me the silent treatment, and he sends me a GIF every morning that says, I'm coming for you. It's very ominous.
Okay, great. Any announcements? All right, I saw this one from Tim. Tim, announcement from you about Science Slam.
Yeah, besides all the assignments, I also helped organize an event last week, so that's why I didn't get a lot of coding done, but I made some connections to look for sponsorship for our team, so I made some really good progress there. So that was a really great event. We sold out a science communication event in at a Friday evening, so that was quite nice.
Good job, Tim. Congrats on the Science Slam. Claps in chat, claps in chat. Action items for this coming week. It sounds like we got tackle probability model, the expected yards after catch, yards after carry model, scuttlebutt, something for security stuff, it sounds like, and then Ghetto Bob model reveal 2 Tuesdays from now.
Yeah, that sounds good. But also the NFL is in Germany this next week, so maybe you could send me there so I can learn the rules, right?
That's true. I think that'd be cool.
But you would need to get me a ticket because it's sold out. So
let me. I'll talk to you offline about that, and then that's probably for the best. Thank you guys for the updates. I'll catch y'all next week. Thank you, dudes.
All right. Yeah. See you, chat. See you, Nick.
Yet another roaring success. What is this intern thing, though? There's already 4 responses. One of the responses is from Jason Baseball, and the other one is from Jason Turn. Jace in Turn. Was owning a team a mistake? Is the team on OnlyFans? No, I don't think my team has an OnlyFans.
I bought a team and they don't have an OnlyFans. I bought a team and they don't have an OnlyFans. I bought a team and they don't have an OnlyFans. I bought a team and they don't have an OnlyFans.
true.